You're listening to Poetry Slam with Bellz.
And your boy Napoleon B. Mike. So,
Good night, good night, good night.
huh? Well, tonight, we're gonna be talking about the Alabama boat brawl, river boat brawl, the date that will live in infamy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just imagine kids reading about this in their textbooks, just like we read about the War of 1812, or like they had us read specific significant battles in history that impacted the war. This fight was significant in the race war of black people versus white people. And we have a point.
Exactly. But the highlight of the whole video, there was two. The cap kept coming off, the bat signal, and the chair. Everybody's talking about the chair. Everybody's talking about the chair.
All right, so let me talk about my guy with the chair. So look, he thought he was on WWE. He was waiting his whole life. He saw this as an opportunity. He was like, this is for my people, but most of all, this is for me. He saw that chair. Wow! Everybody, people on the boat were getting it because this guy had this chair. This guy with the chair, he took it to the head. To the head. The cops had to put him on the ground. No one else was put to the ground except this guy with the chair.
And the response videos to that is hilarious. Like all the TikToks, all the Instagram videos, all the little skits, all the skits is like it's the chair, Aquaman, and the bat signal, the black signal.
The black signal. What's the black signal? I haven't seen any of the response videos.
So the hat going up, when he threw that hat up, it's like everybody came running.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice that part. What I couldn't get my eyes on. Okay, first it kicks off with the guy swimming across the river. Like at first when he got out of the water, I was like, okay, he used up all his energy, but no, he had a battery pack and it was full. He came with all the energy.
Exactly. That video is just, and the crazy thing is, they thought they were going to get away with it.
Oh, they felt right. They were like, white is right. We're right. We can do whatever we want. And what I couldn't get over was the white lady in the green dress. She was getting it handed to her. So she got involved because there was a white guy in some red shorts and he was at the bottom of the pile. So I don't know if that was her husband, her boyfriend, but she got involved and she's trying to drag him out and she's getting it handed to her. Like she's butt on the boardwalk and somebody is just bow. Like she had to have taken over 6 punches to the head, right? And then she gets up and she goes back into the mob. But why would you do that? Like I feel like if you lost, if you're losing, just take your L. Like I don't get why after getting a beat, she got a beating.
Exactly.
And got back up for more.
Everybody was getting it. Everybody. And then the guy that was skipping to the boat, that was the one guy that skipped. He was skipping, and the skip told me everything I needed to know. The skip told me everything I needed to know. He was about to go ham. That's all I needed to know. That little skip told me everything. Like you gotta watch the whole video. It's like from beginning to end. It's a movie.
It's a movie. And how about the part when it was like, 5 or more black guys? They all have their shirts off and they go to the boat and they're like, they have their dukes up. They're like, what's up? What's up? What's up? And they're not coming off the boat. So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay, now that we got our numbers, you want to
that,
stay
that
on the boat.
yeah, that's the video I was
Situation.
yeah, that's the part I was talking about with the guys that was skipping to the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy situation. I mean, it was a long fight. Obviously, the white people were actually like intoxicated or drunk because that was a long fight. Usually, when you see a street fight, people scuffle for a little bit, and when it gets broken up, it's over. But it's like there were rounds to this, like 3, 4, like that.
And then there was different pockets of it. So
Yeah.
it was like one part was over near one boat, another was over towards another boat, another was right in front of you. It was like, wow.
And all because the security officer.
No, that was the co-captain.
The boat captain? I thought he was a security officer.
He was a co-captain.
I didn't know he was a co-captain. Well, the black guy they jumped was a co-captain, and he was telling the boaters that they needed to move their boat so that a bigger boat, a cruise ship, could dock there, and they wouldn't move their boat.
Yeah, the tour boat. The tour boat was trying to dock, and they wouldn't move their boat. So
they had to they
would get mad. They were like, they were asking why they weren't even asking why they had to move. They were just saying they weren't going to move. That's what I got from it. They were
not a single black woman fell in this fight. 2 white women down. Every black woman involved won. Exactly. Everybody black with you on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, that was a cold freezer, B Mike.
Thank you. Gotta get your jacket.
Oh, I'm sweating in this Poetry Slam merch. Got some designs coming.
Yep, we got it coming.
Got it coming. Okay, so that whole video that everybody's been talking about since last weekend inspired a poem out of me. So this is going to be my opening monologue. My ancestors are proud. Have mercy. This is a raw, experimental something. Regardless, my ancestors are proud.
Okay.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Justice gon' trouble the water. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. And oh, how my people tried until my brother jumped in the river and stood up at the banks, not with a hand out to George Washington for white ranks. He lifted tall with the fist up to defend a black and white who finally protects us. We finally protect us. Check the headlines. White Alabama boaters messed around and jumped a black man. They found out. My ancestors are proud. White Alabama boaters drunk on privilege, a literal delusionment. White boaters attempted to curb stomp like thugs in those country videos. Earl had to die. Well, not Damian Pickett, this black security guard, co-captain, just doing his job, had a shield over his life as kinfolk ran into the light, ran through the light, bared their chests to fight, wielding folding chairs right upside the head of anybody too privileged to move their boat when they're told. Finally, black beats white. The delusions are detained. And black people are recognized as people, not monsters, as people, not beasts, as people, not non-colors. My ancestors are proud of the boy who waded in the water to help the security. Okay, Bellz.
Okay, K Bellz with the Wade in the water.
Thanks. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
you know what? You know what's great? You know what's crazy? When you started singing, I remember that there were videos of when there was mixes of that song.
Oh, for real?
It was like fade in the water, fade in the water, children, fade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Yeah, and it was like, hold up, I need to turn my light on.
Yeah, because you
But
blacked
yeah,
out, man. You fading the black right now. Yeah. The ending of that, when I first wrote it, I thought it was way stronger. But when I got to performing it, I was like, wait a minute. I think I had a different line in my head and maybe I never typed it. Cause like
it didn't sound the
I
same.
thought the end was gonna be different. I was like, wait, security. Is this the last line I meant to write? Like that's what happens when you don't revise.
Yeah. But that whole video was just a movie.
It was a movie, and we still have it on replay. We keep going to the theater. This is one thing that's not on the black market. We are paying full price every single time. We're bringing our friends.
Exactly. No matter what.
Exactly. Okay, I'm so excited for the rest of our show. I've got a couple new poems.
I've got a couple new poems as well. So.
Oh snap! Coming in with exclusives on the special.
Yeah. So how are we going to do this? You first, then me, or me, then you?
Actually, I think we should take a little break, but I will give you my poem titles, and then we'll come back and we'll go back to back.
Okay.
Okay. So my first poem is called Designer. And later in the show, I'm going to read another poem called Blow Blow when TayDZ comes in for his poetry news, because it's a little bit relevant to something else we're going to talk about today.
Okay. And my poems will consist of a revisement of running, time chasing, and an unnamed poem. So we're gonna name that poem later.
My favorite poetry game.
Woo! So after this break, we'll come back and do our poems, and we'll be back. Ooh. And we're back. You're muted, Kay.
I'm K-Bell.
And I'm your boy, Napoleon B. Mate.
Wow! Okay. I should be saying I'm the designer because I've got this poem to tell you about. Well, actually, it's to perform for you. So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm the designer. Feed me out. Designer. I am the designer. Images stack in my mind like salt grains in a shaker. Shake, shake, shake. My ideas never come out right on paper. I brush the grains off one detail at a time. Suddenly, I have a new picture. After I bang my hand red at the bottom of the shaker, trying to get that last grain to fall. One more idea to top them all, and that grain falls and rolls off the side of the table. What does it even matter? Ideas are all cheap as table salt. I am the designer. By tomorrow morning, I'll have another shaker full of dull. I take the top off and pour it all out, move it this way and that way. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have the sketch now. I have my supplies. I'm making it now. Well, that's not how I thought it would turn out. Huh. I am the designer. I'll figure something else out. Okay, Bellz.
Hey. Okay, K Bellz. So wait, what's the significance of the salt? That the salt had me confused because it was like, is the salt like your glitter or your what is this? What is the salt?
It's like a metaphor for ideas, and salt can add flavor. It can make something better, or it can make something worse.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was kind of just playing with the idea of like ideas are as cheap as table salt, and then just the sort of concept that when you're creating something, you'll have an image of how it's going to be in your mind. As soon as you start making it, it's different from what you imagine. Like that's just like a matter of fact thing. Like when you transfer mediums, like the medium of your head to even like something on paper, it's just not what you imagine in your head. Like you're going from one space to another.
Yeah.
It's always different. So it's sort of just the struggle of having one idea and then you get another idea. And as soon as you put your idea out, it changes. And, just being committed to being creative and going through the process pretty much.
Okay. Okay.
What did you get from it?
I got that the salt was the glitter that made the idea or the design sparkle, like made it pop. Like you had to get the salt out. You were struggling to get the salt out because it was stuck. But like once you got it out, the idea started to flourish and became brighter.
That's how ideas are sometimes. Sometimes they come easy, shake, shake. Other times it's hard. You gotta.
Yeah.
When you finally get it, you're like, oh, that's it. And then sometimes you have something and you lose it. The salt rolling off the table. Like, oh, dang, I fought for that, and it's gone.
Yeah, I get that. Coming up with ideas is hard. As a creative, you kind of have to take a break, take a step back from everything, to get more ideas. But other times you have to be head first into what you're trying to do for ideas to flow. So
yeah, you gotta keep shaking.
yeah. All right. So for my poem, I am chasing time. Been running since COVID hit. Stuck in the house, not getting to do what I wanted. Grandma died in 21 before I graduated. She didn't even get to see me walk across stage in 22. She was one of my biggest supporters. Depression hit me harder than a ton of bricks. Too busy carrying everybody else's feelings, so I don't talk about how I feel. Seems like a waste of time. Don't want to waste time, so don't trigger me. Leave me flying off the handle like an axe head. Better duck to avoid the bloodshed. If you don't, you're on a brain dead. Nothing but shoulders, nothing from the shoulders up, like a coin with two tails, no head. I get vicious when I'm bottled up. So I'm running from my feelings. Chase time like it's a UFO. Tired, looking for aliens, tell me slow it down. Tired. B Mike.
Oh, snap. Tired.
Yeah. That's not how I wanted to end it, though.
How did you want to end that?
I had another line. I had words after tired, but it wasn't coming. So I just had to end it like that.
Oh. I was like, okay, that's bold. One word, tired. Period. Okay. Yeah, I remember that poem from last week. That's the poem you revised?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely heard some more detail in it. I definitely heard some enhanced performance in your delivery, and it sort of sounded like frustration. Like you're sort of frustrated that at one point for a significant moment in your life you felt like you ran out of time, because to a degree we can control time, but to another degree it's external from us. We can't control the timing of things around us. So it's like frustration at that has built up and caused this attitude of I'm racing with and against time. And I thought that was pretty cool.
I thank you. I appreciate that. Like, it was just like, especially the last part, what I just added like earlier today. It's just like I get vicious when I get bottled up. Like, I just start to snap on people like randomly, and it's not even like it's a full snap. Like, it's just the fuse getting lit a little bit and then it gets smothered. The fuse getting lit and then smothered. Like, it doesn't even get to the whole bomb. Like, I'm the type that if it gets to the bomb, oh, watch out. Cause I rarely get to the end of my fuse. Like, very rarely. So nobody wants to see that explosion. And I know that because there's no holds barred at that point.
Oh, wow. And well, that's interesting. I mean, at first when you were talking about that, I was thinking, it's a really sad story, like a bomb that never goes off. If the bomb is a metaphor for a person, because it's like, I was thinking of bomb as a person reaching their potential, but you're talking about like anger,
Yeah.
You have to get to like peaks of some sort in order to capitalize on that and get to another, growth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying explode, but I think sometimes you have to let go in order to move forward.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm the type that because I'm so calm, cool, and collected all the time, most of the time, when the fuse isn't lit, um, it's like my fuse is I have a long fuse, so like it takes a minute for it to get to that point for me to just explode. It takes a lot of factors. So
Oh, snap. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to say about your poem? Because I'm about to go in with blow, blow to warm us up for poetry news with TayDZ.
nah, we can go to blow, blow.
Okay, I need 1 second to close my door. Okay, the pains of being virtual. This is my poem. Blow, blow. Blow, blow. Bullets from a gun. We were just leaving the party. The plan was to have fun. And I'm the girl. Oh, I need to restart. I got confused. Blow, blow. Bullets from a gun. We were just leaving the party. The plan was to have fun. And I'm with the guy who brought a gun to the party. The man I thought would honor me. And now I can hardly tiptoe around the bullets at my feet. He fired at me. And I can't believe I'm the fool made to feel ashamed for trusting him. Manipulated like a token for attention by other boys. I can't believe I shared my body with him. I thought he was a friend who would tickle tears of joy. Instead, I had to swim in a terrible storm of trauma and lessons. I know I'm not the fool. I'm the stallion who stomped him, threw him in the pen with 3 charges, 10 years, down under these bloody feet. My body healed from him. My mind has regained peace. Blow, blow is a pseudo man to his chest if he tries to ruin my tread again. Okay, Bellz.
Okay, K Bellz with blow, blow.
That poem was inspired by the very public criminal case of Meg Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez. A few years ago, Tory Lanez shot at Meg Thee Stallion after Kylie Jenner's pool party, and since then he has been convicted and sentenced to 10 years. And yeah, I just wanted to write a poem about that because one of the quotes from like her experiences that really stuck out to me, which was that at first she denied being like romantically involved with Tory Lanez, and then she later said that she was involved with him, like they were more than friends. But she said that she lied at first because she was so ashamed that she had shared her body with him. Like this was somebody that she trusted, and the same person disrespected her like so much. And I just remember like the process of the criminal case in the media of people like Drake making lyrics in his song making fun of Meg, Tory Lanez on Twitter with other male rappers making fun of her and mentioning the shooting for clout. So I was glad to see that he was rightfully charged with assault, negligence, and like illegally having a firearm. He has 3 charges. That's why he got 10 years. And he did it. He shot Meg, and he's getting punished.
Yeah. It's a lot of like. It was just during the time that it happened. It was a lot of like. Did it really happen?
It happened.
No,
I
but
just
like,
had a doubt in my mind that it happened, but I understand like people were wondering if it happened. But at the time when I first heard about it, it was outrageous to me that people were questioning that because at the time I felt like the conversation was don't believe all women, but I felt like that was a popular idea because Meg Thee Stallion is a black woman, and I feel the same. Like I felt like it was racially charged. So
mm, eh,
I
I,
don't know.
I have to disagree. It was the thing is, it was Tory Lanez, Megan's best friend, and Megan in that car, and Tori and her best friend at the time had like similar stories. So that's why it was just like, mm, was she overreacting? There was a lot of like up in the air about it because it was
Yeah.
just like nothing. It wasn't making sense. Nobody was backing down on their story.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I do remember that part. I guess it felt like the don't believe all women idea felt racially charged because I was comparing it to the Me Too movement. And I felt like
Mm,
with that, like a lot of white women became like the visual leaders for that, even though that wasn't the like origin story. That's what it became. And I
yeah,
felt since there's so much solidarity with that movement, now here's a very popular black woman who was actually assaulted talking about her story and she's being questioned. So it felt like, okay, when black women aren't protected, people are defending her unprotection, but fighting for like women, white women's protection. So I think at the time that's how I was thinking of it. It may not be racially charged, but that was my perspective.
I think it was more of a don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. If we're
But
thinking objectively, yeah.
it was like because it was two sides of that story, and both sides weren't being believed to the fullest. So it was more of a thing of don't believe everything you hear because it don't it doesn't always add up.
Yeah, you're right. And unfortunately, some people do lie about being victims of crimes. Like it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate truth. And I'm glad that we learned that Meg wasn't like playing the victim.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry that happened to her, but I'm glad that we know the truth. Her truth is realized. She's been validated, and the person who like has done this to her will be punished for it. And I think at
Exactly.
the time it came across like um, she was being made fun of, and it just seemed like a lot of people were making light of her real situation. But that's all over. Well, I don't want to say it's all over, but it's definitely more resolved now. And I can't wait to hear TayDZ's opinion on the matter, along with other poetry news. What? Puh,
It's
puh, 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 puh.
poetry news with TayDZ.
In the building.
You're muted, Tay.
Yeah, Tay, you've got no.
Oh no, I ruined my own intro. Ain't I crazy? It's been a long day, y'all.
Yeah,
It's
you
been a
gotta be
long
my
day.
moment. You gotta be my moment.
Wait, huh?
Like, be my. You never ruin your intro.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
That is man, today's been a funny day. But yeah, y'all. If I can chime in on the Tory Lanez Meg discussion, because I didn't think y'all was gonna start the news without me or anything. But
I didn't mean to. It's just it was poem, and then poem took over. got slammed out.
Well, let me go ahead and slam you with some more information. Tory Lanez, of course, as Bellz has already discussed, has already informed y'all, convicted on 3 counts, given 10 years. And of course, in court, Tory Lanez was apologetic. Tory Lanez apologized for any harm he may have caused.
However, any harm he may have caused, did he really say may?
According to Tory Lanez, no, because Tory Lanez himself has essentially said in court, Tory Lanez addressed the court and apologized for his actions. He said he took full responsibility for the shooting, telling the judge, if I could change it, I would, but I can't. How nice, right? He says, everything I did that night, I take full responsibility. I truly am just trying to be a better person. How nice, you know? You know what? We love a man who takes accountability for his actions. Now, on Twitter, on Instagram, though, he then says, he was only taking responsibility for all verbal intimate moments that I share with all parties involved. That's it. In no way, shape, or form was I apologizing for the charges I'm being wrongfully convicted of. I remain on the stance that I refuse to apologize for something that I did not do.
What?
Tory
shot Meg.
Tory. You apologized for your actions and then proceeded to say you didn't do it. Give him an extra 5 years, y'all. I'm serious about this. Give him an extra 5 years. That's so stupid. In what universe do you apologize? If one of y'all was to punch me in the face, right, and then you apologize and say, "I'm sorry for punching you in the face, TayDZ. That's my bad," and then proceeded to go on X the next day and then say, "I didn't punch TayDZ in the face. I don't even know what he's talking about with that." Crazy man. It don't make no sense. Tory's trying to play both sides of like this case here, and to kind of hop on the point, really. Tory Lanez, people don't want to think Tory Lanez did it because they're fanboys. Let's just be completely honest with it.
For real.
It's as simple.
Fanboys. It's the fanboys that are anti-Meg.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it all across. OJ couldn't have done it. He was a great football player. I can't believe Kales did that. Come on now. You're trying to... Yeah, I'm talking about Kelly.
Oh,
I'm talking about Robert.
Evidence. I mean, come on now.
You
know what? Fans are fans.
You can literally show a person undeniable evidence of anything, and they will not believe it. I promise you. They'll say
OJ did it.
Oh yeah, for real, he did that. That's known.
I don't think he did.
You don't think he did? Oh,
I don't think.
God, I didn't know you were a non-believer, but.
Yeah.
Wow, be my okay, bro. So when the man wrote a book that said, "If I did it," that didn't do anything. He wrote a book that said, "If I did it." Now, random fun fact, by the way.
If that doesn't mean he did.
Y'all know what Tory did? He shot Meg.
You're ridiculous, yo. But random fun fact about that book, by the way, I'm going to keep it really brief. So the rights to that book went to the parents and the family of, Nicole. I forget her name. His wife that he killed. The family of that wife, right? And so the proceeds so basically they control that book as of right now. And what they did with the book is that they re-released it. It's still called "If I Did It." However, the word "if" is camouflaged into the cover. So the book just says, "I did it."
Oh, man.
By O.J. Simpson.
Nah. I still don't believe he did it. I don't.
And he's the reason. He's the reason. Just want you to know. When you ask why Tory Lanez fans don't think he did it, listen to B Mike defend OJ.
Hey,
Tori shot Meg.
Yes, he did.
Hey, I believe that. I believe that now. But
by the way, Meg, ooh, that's crazy. By the way, Meg says even to this day she still deals with nerve damage, numbness in the back of her left foot, and her left foot still gets sore very easily. Yeah,
it's from all that twerking she be doing.
All right, we're moving on. No,
it's still running. Still got treads.
She got treads. You want to know what else still has treads? The strikes. Still got treads. It's time for our weekly update. However, we have good news.
Good news.
There's good news.
Do we have a sound for good news? No, we don't. Look. We need to upgrade. We need to update. I'm sorry. It's not my control.
Just hit me with a yippee, okay?
Yippee! Woo!
Confetti.
The WGA and the AMPTP, the writers and the studios, are resuming negotiations now. Officially starting now, negotiations have resumed. So they talked about having renegotiations last week. They've officially come back to the table. So they've been striking for more than 100 days. We don't know what's going to happen. However, one person says this could go all the way to May 2024.
Period.
So
I have to agree and be like, I don't think it's over yet. I don't think the strikes are over yet because the negotiations are going to take forever for everybody to be on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Same page. Get it? All right.
And this is just the WGA. The SGA still ain't ready to come back to the table yet. So.
Well, one point I would like to bring up is the fact that House of the Dragon, a very popular spinoff of Game of Thrones, which is the HBO show, their creation is not being delayed, even though the WGA strike is happening. And it's not being delayed because a lot of the employees are not from the US. So I thought that was pretty interesting in the context of there being theories that they want to replace writers with AI. They don't want to pay writers. Well, what about outsourcing writers from other countries?
So
yeah, I feel like the longer this strike goes on, the more outsourcing and the more like I said from the jump, like more independent films, more independent shows, more all that is going to be coming up more about.
But what I'm saying with outsourcing writers from other countries, you don't necessarily even have to pick up an indie show or an indie movie. You can just fill up your old writer's room with UK writers.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
So it's been said that other nations don't work unions like we do. I don't know how India's Bollywood system works in terms of, worker solidarity. We do know, though, that Netflix has not been paying residuals for Korean actors and Korean studios for their shows. So the people who have been getting famous off of Squid Games, for instance, because of Netflix putting them on their platform and their show becoming even bigger than before, they're not paying residuals. They're not getting paid residuals from that.
Huh?
They're not getting, the people from Squid Games are not getting any form of compensation from that.
That's wild.
No, exactly.
Any form of compensation? You're saying they worked for free?
I mean, it's like whatever compensation they're getting is not coming from Netflix.
Jeez, that's wild.
Netflix is the distributor of the show. So
You know,
Netflix should be
So-
paying them.
Exactly.
Netflix, yeah. But that's the thing. South Korea does not have the kind of organized labor movement that America has.
Well, I don't say that's different, but like if the structure is not in place to do that,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
that's for their country to do. But like,
Exactly.
so that kind of reinforces the idea of, well, why not just get, Korean actors or, people from other countries who don't abide by the American standard or, the standard that we're trying to establish,
hmm
and just keep following the rules that we don't want to accept.
Yeah, that's that would cause even more strikes. I feel like.
I think what might happen, and B Mike, you're kind of right on it, is that you can, and the thing is that the studios are learning now, and why they're trying to turn to AI so much is that you can only hold down you can only keep a person in the dark for so long about how much you're mistreating them, And I'm pretty sure Korean actors and actresses don't want the same treatment that American actors and actresses get. So that's why they're so heavy on the AI thing right now. As a matter of fact, I forget which companies. I believe they are. Disney is one of them, of course. And I believe Universal, like Comcast. Universal, Comcast, all that. They have been they're paying lobbyists to pay attention to legislation that is currently being written up in Congress pertaining to essentially not giving like tax breaks or even overtly taxing companies who opt to use AI over real people. They're trying to make sure they have the legal leeway to have AI take over jobs so they don't have to pay people. It is crazy. But I will also say it's good news depending on who you are. Sony and some other companies have been experiencing some stock drops. If you're a stock market nerd,
Okay, so here's my theory.
mm-hmm.
The more they start to introduce AI, the more the more strikes are gonna happen, and the more,
Of course,
the more they're all gonna be. There's gonna be a cohesive strike.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
From the actors to the
like the under the line workers, like
Yeah.
the lighters, gaffers, and all that.
yeah, the I see people.
Yep. Mhm.
Like there's gonna be a more cohesive strike because it's gonna be like, okay, if they can get AI to replace them,
Oh yeah.
what's next for us?
Never
What do you-
think that your job is safe from AI. They actually, in some Krogers in the US, they have introduced all like all self-checkout stores. Like no clerks ringing you up, just all self-checkout.
But you also need clerks to, when there's self checkout people who just don't know
Not
what
as
they're
many.
doing.
Not as many.
Yeah, but you need like at least two.
That's the thing. These stores are going to go from having like 20 employees to having like 4.
No, you can't do that. You got to have people to stock the shelves too. So those
I
people.
mean, they can have people. They can have those 4 people doing everything. You know how a
Mhm.
company will work you. They'll just be like, "Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to be full time? Okay, your schedule's going to be all over the place. You're going to have a minimal 36 out of 40 hours just to make you bare minimum full time, and we're going to have you doing all this stuff." So, but really, with the outsourcing people from other countries to write, I think if they do that, it would be a band-aid solution just to buy time until they can get the AI to be effective.
Exactly.
Oh, honestly, I feel like once the actors read these AI scripts, they're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Oh, that's the problem. It's the problem, and it's the blessing and the curse of AI. It's bad right now, but it's improving, and they're
Right, it's gonna get good. They're gonna make it good enough.
No, I
trying.
still feel like actors are gonna be like, "What is this?"
Oh yeah,
I mean, they can just put AI actors. Like they can. There's already deep fakes. I mean, it's starting at the bottom line with development, with like writing stories, and eventually there will be virtual people like saying this stuff with voice inflections, and you'll think you're watching real actors, but you're just watching simulations.
yeah. They already have little like robots that can gaff lines for you. It's actually kind of crazy. So it's never think your job isn't safe from being automated. That's just the scariest part. So I mean,
Yeah, it's like a Black Mirror episode. If you haven't seen it, it's like you sell away all your rights, and they duplicate you, and they make money off of your image, your likeness.
but I have hope. I do have hope. I do think these strikes are going to work. I think
Yeah,
I think these strikes are going to work because I think eventually what's going to happen, and I know my faith in humanity is very low sometimes, but people are not going to accept robotic writing for very long. You know, they're
nah.
going to turn to other nations and such if everything is AI. So like I'm with you, being my. I don't think automation is going to control everything because I think we're not going to let it control everything.
I
Exactly.
mean, I do agree that if everything is a human writer will become like um a rarer thing and like more unique. However, I just think people will accept it because it'll be a product of convenience, and that's the culture we live in. Like, unless the culture shifts where more people deliberately seek to support people, and I think our culture is shifting to that. Like, we do say things like support small business and stuff like that. Then the convenience of just having AI shows, and if it's popular, people are just gonna watch it because it's there. It's TV, it's entertainment.
I still feel like there's gonna be strikes, like not just for the actors, not just for the writers, but like national strikes.
But
Like,
let me ask you this: do you think that the average consumer of media or whatever is going to look and accept AI created television shows for the rest of like do you think, because KBL says eventually people are just going to be like, it's here, okay, cool.
Yeah, I
Like
think people will accept it.
I think my faith in humanity is outweighing my is what's what's pushing my decision right now, because I mean, I, like TayDZ, I have very low faith in humanity.
I got just a tiny modicum left for this at least.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just gonna be it's gonna be a good thing, because if AI if they start to do AI everything, the price of a real life person is going to skyrocket.
They already think it's too high.
But tell me more though.
Because with a real person, I know robots or AI have a better have a better chance of detecting stuff. But like I feel like AI, there's nothing like real people.
Okay.
That's just how I feel.
I see it though. I like both of y'all's perspectives. I like that y'all both feel like, you know, you both have opposite perspectives of how it's going to go, but I feel like you both, or at least I feel like B Might has more faith in humanity to eventually become more, be like, okay, well, a person's more valuable at the very least, And Cable's kind of just saying people are just going to kind of settle in. So I like that y'all have a different perspective on this. It's nice to kind of hear differing thoughts. That's why I bring the news to y'all. Because I like to hear what y'all think about the news. So thank you for having me.
This has
Thank
been
you.
Poetry News with TayDZ. So we're gonna end with my name that poem. From the first time I saw you after you was born, I knew we was going to be best friends. The last we shared, the road trips we'd go on. When we were younger, it was all fun and games. Now we're older, but you're still young. So I plan on teaching you how to avoid the things I dealt with, the consequences I've been handed. Be Mike.
Wow, that was a short one.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Huh?
You gotta put that one on Instagram.
It's not done yet. It's not done. It's just it's a work in progress that I like to share. I like to share my works in progress because it gives me a opportunity to test them, to see if I want to add more. Because just reading it, okay, I could be like, okay, I could end it here. But like actually performing it, you'd be like, okay, it needs more. It needs to be fuller.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. It's like it's different when you're writing a poem for paper and you're writing a poem for performance.
yeah,
Like I think that's why there's a difference between like spoken word poetry, like performance poetry,
yeah,
versus like prose or iambic pentameter. I mean, you can write a spoken word poem in iambic pentameter, but like I think that's why spoken word lends itself to freestyle, because it's meant to be naturally performed.
right.
And yeah, like some stuff you read versus what you say and how you say it. The performance is a part of the poetry, and
Exactly.
you gotta test it.
Name that poem.
Graffiti.
Graffiti. Why graffiti?
It was kind of giving like emo vandalism vibes. No.
No.
Oh, well, they used graffiti in an alley. Wasn't that one of the lines?
No. I said, let me reread it. From the first time I saw you after you was born, I knew we'd be best friends. The laughs we'd share, the road trips we'd go on. When we were younger, it was all fun and games, but now we're older. But you're still young. I plan on teaching you how to avoid the things I dealt with, the consequences I've been handed.
Where did I get graffiti from? Okay, hearing it again, I think it should be something like "Letter to My Younger Self," something like that.
Letter to my younger self.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or okay, no, never mind.
I'm gonna finish flushing it out. Like finish getting it written, and then we can come back to it so we can get a fuller picture.
Yeah, name that poem better suits completed poems, because what you have, I don't even know what it's about yet. Like, it's in such a fetal stage. I can catch a vibe from it. So the vibe is sort of, it's giving me the impression that you're talking to either someone younger than you or your younger self, because you're like, you're still young, you know, we're going on this road trip together. So I'm thinking you're going to impart some lessons or some wisdom.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what it's about after the show. So this has been Poetry Slam with
Bellz
and your boy Napoleon B. Mike. Good night, everybody.